What is one of the saddest things you've done to avoid socializing, such as hiding in the bathroom? Used to live with super outgoing roommates. When I heard people come over, I'd take a shower, get dressed like I was going somewhere, get in my car, drive to go get food somewhere, then sit in the parking lot eating my food and listening to music for a few hours. They actually used to complain I was always too busy to hang out with them. Taking a much longer route that people will never be on. Yup, I have class at 11 am, so I leave my house at 10:45 to walk to campus. I used to cross the crosswalk, go straight past a couple of small restaurants, then take a left to get to campus, but I always ended up crossing paths with my friends. So now I cross the crosswalk and weave through the back alleys of the restaurants so I don't have to talk to them on my way to school. Pretend to answer a phone call when approaching someone. I get nervous faking a phone call, so I always listen to a voicemail message to make it seem a bit more authentic. Not that they'd know either way. Pro tip: pretend to be on a conference call. Say something as if you're already deep in conversation. No, Steve, have another look at the slide deck I sent out before this call. You'll see that it's a good idea, but it won't work in this case. Then keep walking. Just start talking about porn and everybody else will do the walking away. I used to be able to make myself puke simply by eating too much cheese. So if I didn't want to go somewhere, I would eat a lot of cheese and have to cancel the plans. You'd think people would start catching on after seeing you eat that much cheese. Hey man, wanna go out tonight? Yeah sure, just let me pre-game by eating this block of cheese. Oh shoot, I'm sick, I can't go. Maybe you shouldn't eat a bunch of cheese every time we're getting ready to go out. Peeing in a bottle in my bedroom so I wouldn't have to walk by the people in my living room to get to the bathroom. I'm noticing a trend here. I have climbed out my bedroom window and peed outside to avoid people. I'm a girl, and it was still worth it. Dang, I'm a dude and I just pissed straight out the window. I sympathize with your struggle. Couple of weeks ago, had a complete and utter panic attack in a church. Found an unoccupied room, locked the door, turned the lights out, and sat on the floor in a bull wedge between a couch and fake tree until I could calm down a bit and do grounding exercises. Took nearly an hour. Oh man, that's not fun. Lived with one other roommate. He thought I had a part-time job in the evenings, which I didn't. I used to listen quietly to a little TV with headphones in my room all night. Did not venture into the common areas. Think I remember peeing into bottles also. I just wanted him to think I was at work and did not want to socialize in any way with him. Once he went to bed, I came out of my room quietly, went to the front door, made noise and pretended to come home. This sounds like the setup for a bit on a sitcom. Sometimes I panic and drive 6 hours to another state. I was extremely shy growing up and had a hard time making friends. I moved school districts in 8th grade, and when I went to high school, I had to go to a different school than all of my other classmates. I was really quiet kid, and for some reason this made some of the kids pick on me the first day, calling me retarded and insinuating that I didn't know how to talk. This really pissed me off, but I hate confrontation. So I panicked and started signing to him. I had learned ASL a while ago because one of my friends in elementary school was hearing impaired. This shut him up really fast. Then everyone thought I was hearing impaired. For the rest of high school, my teachers knew I wasn't, and they didn't say anything. Eventually they even played along because I was a good student and kept my head down. I even bought a hearing aid online to help explain the fact that I could actually understand what people were saying even when they weren't facing me. Honestly, it was so awesome for me as an introverted kid. I look back on that and laugh now because most of the time you can't pay me to shut up. I misread signing to him as singing to him. I will literally physically go out of my way not to talk to people that I know will try to start a conversation with me. Some examples. Whenever I'm about to leave work at the same time the guy next to me is, he'll just sit there pretending to work on something until he is gone so we don't walk out together. If I see someone just far enough behind me to miss the elevator, if I call it and spam the close door button, he'll start fast walking as soon as I turn the corner to the elevator and do just that. If there's not enough distance between us, he'll walk the 3 flights of stairs instead. Quickly. If I am going down the stairs to leave and hear the door on the floor below me open, someone else leaving, he'll stop on the stairs and let them get down a flight so we don't have to say hello in the stairwell. If I am on my way to the bathroom and I see someone enter who will likely start up a conversation with me in there, I have a fake phone conversation outside of the bathroom or hide behind a nearby half wall until I hear them leave the bathroom and then go in. If I see the car of the receptionist who likes to talk to me in the parking lot, I'll walk around the building and enter through the facility's side door instead of passing by her desk in the main lobby. If someone is already at the printer that I need to use, I will pass by and act like I am on the way to a meeting until I hear their print job stop. Then I'll turn around and print, instead of the BS small talk at the printer. How many trees you killing? Hard to believe I have any friends, isn't it? I always look for animals at networking events that I can socialize with instead of with people. Going to the grocery store and seeing how full the parking lot and just turning around and going back home. Best thing I found out, for while you are working on lowering your anxiety, is to find a grocery store that is open 24/7 and then go late at night, if you are able. A lot less people and a lot less anxiety. Not sure if this counts as socializing, but oh well. This happened 2 months ago. I'm on my school's science Olympiad team and we were all going in a van that my coach was driving. I'm scared to talk to him as he seems intimidating and his jokes are so dry it's hard to tell if he's joking. And, paired with my fear that if I do something wrong I'll be screamed at and the fact that I don't know anyone on the team at all. The drive there was fun. Yeah, right. I was the last one in the van and apparently I closed the door halfway, closed enough that if I pushed on it, it wouldn't open, but open enough that it made this loud noise. My coach asks is the door shut and I said yup, scared as fuck. He kind of shrugs then keeps driving. I am in full on panic mode because I'm in a car with 10 other kids I don't know who are all my senior and a coach that I'm scared of. So what do? I use all of my strength to hold the door the rest of the way shut for the hour-long drive which was mostly on the freeway at 60+ mph. Yup, amazing idea. At one point, my arm was so tired that I had to support it with my other arm. Worked like a charm. No one got mad at me. The door wasn't loud, but I couldn't write for an hour afterward because I had strained my arm so bad. TLDR. I held a van door shut for an hour on the freeway because I was scared to ask for help. Edit. I have some anxiety issues that escalate around new people, so that's why I stupidly held a door shut for an hour lol. And I have a fear of doing something wrong. And my coach had cussed out a girl a few minutes earlier for being 5 minutes late, and I didn't want to make us any later. Thanks for the silver. Face with tears of joy. 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 I feel so bad for laughing but this is too relatable. I would have done that too. Many years ago my childhood best friend and I had a huge falling out. She had been living with me and I asked her to leave. The day she came to get her things, I couldn't stand to face her, so I hid in the back closet while she and another of her friends gathered her things. Think I was in there about half an hour, waiting until I couldn't hear them anymore. Have you spoken to her since? I tried to contact her a few years ago, because honestly what happened was really fast and strange and there were some unanswered questions. I wanted some closure because we were friends our whole lives. When I contacted her and asked, can we talk about what happened back then, she said, why don't you mind your own fucking business? I responded, you lived in my house for 2 years and constantly lied to me and I was supposed to be your best friend. I know we were young and made stupid decisions. I thought we could talk as adults now, but I see you don't want to. I'm sorry it turned out this way, and that was the last we've spoken. I lived with a bunch of super emotional, super talkative people once. I enjoyed their company, some of the time. However, when things got awkward, I'd hide in my room, lock the door, and just not eat or drink until I absolutely had to so I wouldn't have to see them. They could be quite catty. I wore a fake mustache and a wig to work. Do people not normally talk to people with mustaches and bad hair? In high school I used to eat lunch in the hall on the 5th floor by my Spanish classroom. I didn't have any friends, or anyone willing to sit with me, so I just took up to being there instead of trying to hang around strangers. The French teacher, her classroom is right by the Spanish one, stopped by to talk to me occasionally, even ended up bringing me a book one day just because she thought I'd enjoy it. I'd never taken any of her classes, or even talked to her before then. She was just taken aback by me reading with my lunch every day instead of hanging out with others. She and my Spanish teacher really made those times bearable, a lot more so than any pills I take. Basically I avoided people due to my mental ailments and it worked, but the few times I did socialize in spite of my efforts it was for the better. Not to avoid socializing, but to avoid interacting with a stranger. Last month I needed to cancel a pap smear because I was on my period and I knew they couldn't take the sample if there was blood in the way. I went to the pap smear anyway and lay there naked from the waist down with my knees pulled up to my chest on my period while a nurse shined a light on my vagina, inserted a speculum and then told me she couldn't do it and I would have to come back next week, all to avoid making a phone call. I really hate phone calls. I just can't imagine choosing that over a phone call because a gino is one of the biggest anxiety triggers for me. I was at a party at a friend's house and didn't want to socialize with anybody as it was mainly kids there, so I went into his basement to watch Netflix. The only girl there that was my age came downstairs and asked if she could watch the movie with me. I said yes and it was probably the best decision I ever made. I was only 13 at the time and just her cuddling with me was bliss. Eventually when we were 17 we started dating. Still together? Nope. But she's moving down here and I'm considering it. The biggest problem is that she's polygamous and I'm not.